Hi, very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the session. And you're with me, Arun Sharma. I hope I'm audible to all of you and you're able to hear me properly. So yeah, clear and audible. Good to hear. Good to see that. And let me just try to share my camera with you. Yeah, I think you can see me here. Right. So all good. Right. So this is a workshop and a seminar in which a lot of people have been asking me this question. How do you prepare for CAT in the last 75 days? What are the key priorities, etc. How many tests should we take? Whether we should take mock tests, focus only on tests, etc. Or should we do some portion and so on and so forth. So I will. I mean, I have a pre-prepared presentation available here, which I wanted to take you through in today's session. And a very good morning to all of you. And I hope and pray that India beats Pakistan in today's match. So that's something we're all looking forward to. That's one of the reasons we kept it in the morning, because we thought कि evening में तो कोई आएगा नहीं, कोई chance नहीं है, that we would rather watch me over the likes of Rohit Sharma, etc. So all the best to them too for today's match. And being an Indian, I guess everybody is a cricket fan. So I have also been one. So okay, I just wanted to switch to my presentation. So my first focus. I mean, a lot of people have been asking me this question. What I should be focusing on, what I should be doing. And I'm not taking any chats right now, so please don't put any chats for the time being. I'm not looking at any chats for the time being. Last 10 minutes, we'll try to see and answer all kinds of questions that you have to ask me. Any specific questions related to the topic today. We are not doing anything outside the topic today. So the focus is just 75 days to CAT. So questions जो मैं लूँगा उसी पे लूँगा. Last 75 days CAT में क्या करना चाहिए उस पे जो question है. But questions time will start around 12:45, 12:50. ठीक है. अभी पहला focus मेरा है to actually tell you or take you through this through my thought process when I'm advising somebody कि क्या करना चाहिए last 75 days to CAT prep, and it's roughly around 75 days of preparation that you have got left. So talking about that, again, this is something you saw. McGraw-Hill is a partner in today's webinar, and we thank McGraw-Hill. McGraw-Hill has been a partner not just in my books and my book writing journey. McGraw-Hill has been a partner for ages with me, and I used to study their books when I was in class 11th and 12th. That's when I first came to know about McGraw-Hill. Little did I know that I would become an author with them, and not just an author of one book, but I'm author of so many books, maybe 7, 8, 10 titles that I've written for them. Over 3.5 million, 4 million books sold till now, and been extremely privileged to have the love and affection of both the McGraw-Hill team as well as the readers, the millions of readers who have used my books, etc. My only focus, my only mindset when I write my book is that it has to be high quality. It has to be page by page. It has to be world class. That's the only thing I've tried to do. And this is the set of books for CAT. The 4 books which are popular, you can see them: the logical reasoning, data interpretation, QA, and VE and RC. But this 5th book that I would like to talk about is the chapter-wise solved papers, previous year papers for CAT. So this includes papers from 99 to 2008 and papers from 17 to 21, and they are chapter wise. They have been broken down chapter wise, so you can actually take this book. This book should be available in the market now. It should be available in all marketplaces also. One thing that that I would like to warn you about when you go looking for previous year CAT papers. One thing I would like to just inform you कि 2009 से 2016 का CAT papers किसी के पास नहीं है. Some books, some publishers have taken the fly-by-night route of fooling people by just suppose I put 10 questions of 2000 and say that these questions belong to 2010. you've got absolutely no way to check it, right? I'm saying it's based on memory, so you can't take me to court about it कि CAT में था कि नहीं था. So 2009 to 2016, what happened? CAT went online in 2009 or 2009 to 16, and this is important because one of the things I'll be talking about in the context of 75 days of CAT prep is going to be definitely about uh, how to use the previous year papers at this point of time in your journey, because as you know, last 75 days the mock tests become very critical, and apart from the mock tests, the previous year papers become very difficult. So 2009 to 16 का papers किसी के पास नहीं, इसलिए नहीं है because अगर कोई तुमको बोलता है कि ये मेरा paper है, this take this paper, this 2009 का CAT paper, so please ask him which slot it was, because 2009 में there were 40 slots of CAT papers, because CAT was conducted for the first time online in 2009. IIM's system for online conduction of CAT had not got formalized, had not got formulated. And what they did was the CAT was held over 20 days, 20 consecutive days, and it was in 2 slots. जैसे CUT हो रहा है ना अभी कि over 45, 30, 45 days, 30 to 40 days के period में हो रहा है, and multiple slots every day. So nobody has that paper. In 40 slots का paper किसके पास है? कोई किसी के पास नहीं है. So what people have done is they just picked up questions from here and then randomly, because I've seen those papers. मैंने CAT 2009 भी दिया था और CAT 2009 में दिया था, एक slot दिया था, तो उसके कुछ क्वेश्चन मेरे को याद है, मैंने लिखे भी थे उसको, लेकिन but then what is the point of putting those questions inside? You don't have the DI, you can't, how can you reproduce reading comprehension? और लोगों ने वो भी कर दिया बुक्स में. So we, in fact, ये जो previous year books papers, chapter wise previous year papers book है, हम लोग ने because of this problem we had discontinued it, because I can't lie in my books. ये करने के लिए मैं भी कर सकता, तो वही चीज जो बाकी लोगों ने किया हुआ है. And to make matters worse, कुछ बुक्स में मैंने देखा है कि मेरे LOD2 LOD3 के क्वेश्चन उठा के डाल दिए उन्होंने, CAT क्वेश्चन है. So it's completely a mess up. The industry, publishing industry, there is a lot of mess up that happens, which is why being with a publisher who's above board and who's completely clear with its policies and structures. And what is great about McGraw-Hill that I found always is the systems which bring out these great products. So the QR code is here. You can scan the QR code and you can go straight to the Amazon website, and this will take you to the website, to the place where you can buy the books, and you can now buy from there. So chalo, let's, with that thing out of the way, let's come back to the topic for the day, and the topic is 75 days to CAT, things you should do. So needless to say, time has become very precious now. You cannot, I mean, when I'm talking to CAT 23 aspirants right now, I'm telling them to do stuff, I'm telling them to to start their work, etc. And when I'm telling them that to do, I know that उसमें से कुछ लोग करेंगे, कुछ लोग नहीं करेंगे. जो नहीं करेंगे उनको मैं, अगर वो मेरे पास दो महीने बाद आते हैं कि सर अभी तक स्टार्ट नहीं किया मैंने, कुछ किया नहीं काम, तो मैं उनको फिर एक रिकवरी प्लान दे दूंगा. वो 6 महीने बाद भी आएंगे. If they come after 6 months also, they come to in April. Somebody joins us for CAT at Mindworks in September. In September 2022 for CAT 23, they come to me in June, July next year. कि सर मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं अभी तक, मैं बिजी हो गया था, घर में कुछ हो गया था, शादी हो गई थी किसी की, etc etc. There's so many things that happened in my house, so and in my life, so I couldn't prepare. I am now wanting to prepare for CAT 23 seriously. He comes to me in June, July. I can still give him a plan and say, tell him that okay, this is what you do, and you have not used 9 months, 10 months of your preparation time, 14 months preparation time that you had. You have a recovery plan. But 75 days mein, once you formulate a plan, now recovery plans become more and more difficult, as you can appreciate. So precision is required. Yeah, there has to be a reason. This is one of the key things of your preparation plan. Ki 75 days to me mean around 150 study sessions. If you do 2 study sessions a day, it means 150 study sessions. So 150 study sessions में precision बहुत जरूरी कि तुम कर क्या रहे हो, क्यों कर रहे हो. You can't waste your time going here and there, which I feel I see a lot of CAT aspirants doing. कि अपने टाइम को इधर उधर बर्बाद करते रहते हैं. कोई YouTube चैनल पे जाके वीडियोस देख रहे हैं, करने के लिए तो तैयारी कर रहे हैं. But I mean, if I have a bottle and I have to close it and I've got 5 seconds to do it. I cannot do other things. I cannot do other things like putting my AC remote on it or anything. If I have to do it in 5 things, I have to be precise and do the right thing and it gets done. Right? So I cannot do things which are not going to help me on D-Day. So this is the first premise. जो भी काम करना, my time is very precious. My time, my every study session is precious, and it has to be defined by me कि मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए और क्यों करना चाहिए. Both those things. So because because of this logic that precision is required in everything you do now, you need to be very precise for with respect to what you do. So if I just look at a couple of names here, so what Adarsh Chaudhary is doing, I mean, I'm going with the A's to start with, and what Akash Upadhyay is doing might not be the same thing. What might be very important for Adarsh Chaudhary to do might not be very important for Achal Jain to do. Right? So precision becomes important in the context of, in your context, not in the context of कि इस टाइम ये करने से अच्छा होता है, दुनिया के लिए अच्छा होता होगा लेकिन तुम्हारे लिए वो अच्छा होगा कि नहीं, is something you have to understand and you have to find out, and it has to be part of plan. It cannot be unplanned. Now कि कैट प्रेप में ये सब होता है जनरल. अब तुम सितंबर में स्टार्ट कर रहे हो कैट 23 के लिए, as I told you, तुम जनरल चीजें करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. So तुम्हारे प्रेसाइज स्ट्रक्चर में क्या रिक्वायर्ड है, उसके लिए सबसे पहला स्टेप है ऑडिट. ऑडिट योर वर्बल, ऑडिट योर क्वांट्स, ऑडिट योर डीआईएलआर. ऑडिट के लिए क्या जरूरी है, व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड, हाउ डू यू ऑडिट, द क्वेश्चन अराइजेस, हाउ डू यू ऑडिट, कैसे करना चाहिए ऑडिट. मेरा इंग्लिश अच्छा है, मेरा मैथ अच्छा है, मेरा डीआईएलआर ठीक नहीं है, ये तो एक स्टार्टिंग स्टूडेंट बता देगा मेरे को जो 15 दिन तैयारी किया है. So when somebody is looking at CAD in 75 days, the audit has to be more detailed, the audit has to be more structured. And one part of this audit, I mean few dimensions of this audit that are must. So when you audit your verbal, you have to try to audit, first of all, I mean for each of these you have to audit your I think 3 numbers are critical for me in this audit. And each of these audits, the first and foremost, the best way, the most important way to do an audit, the best way to do an audit is to take a sectional test on it. What do you mean by sectional test? I sometimes feel very despondent when I tell people to take a sectional test and they come back and take a chapter test and come back. A sectional test means 40 minutes, like a section of CAT. CAT has 3 sections. So what does a sectional test mean? It means 40 minutes verbal ability, reading comprehension का section, 24 questions, जो current pattern है CAT का. What does the sectional test of quants mean? You take 40 minutes, all chapters, 22 questions. Try to do that. So sectional tests are very important building block. And I want you to know 3 numbers for yourself. You don't need to come to me with it. I'll tell you how to analyze this during the session. So 3 numbers I want you to know about yourself. जब तक तुम ये 3 नंबर नहीं जानते हो तब तक तुम यही बोलोगे कौन अच्छा है, कौन खराब है, वर्बल अच्छा है, वर्बल ठीक है, वर्बल खराब है, डीआईएलआर बहुत खराब है, डीआईएलआर खराब है, डीआईएलआर ठीक है, यही बोलते रहोगे. That is not something that, I mean, as I said, a starter who's prepared for a month and wants to give CAT 1 year later, if he gives me that information, I'm okay with it. But a person going into CAT 75 days from now gives me this information, I'll ask him कि ये 3 numbers बताओ. क्या numbers हैं? One number is measurement of your knowledge. Measurement of your knowledge, and not just knowledge, let's call it knowledge and ability, because this is a skill-based exam. So one thing is measurement of your knowledge and ability. कि मेरे को 24 क्वेश्चन वर्बल दे दो, अभी कैट का पेपर दे दो, मेरे को सिर्फ वर्बल का सॉल्व करना है, मेरे को 40 मिनट में, तो मैं कितने राइट कर लूंगा अगर मेरे को 40 मिनट के बदले 100 मिनट मिले? Not in 40 minutes. What is your capacity of getting questions right in 100 minutes? Do you have the capacity of getting 20 or 24 right? So this will be your the first thing you look at. Same thing in quants and the same thing in DILR. DILR में क्या है, 4 sets का पेपर हो गया है, right? 4 sets का पेपर हो गया है. तो 4 sets का पेपर अगर हो गया है और 4 sets 40 minutes में करना होता है, you have to do 4 sets in 40 minutes, which means 10 minutes per set. So when you're auditing your DLR and you're auditing knowledge and ability, you first audit at 25 minutes per set. That means you give yourself 100 minutes. And you ask yourself this, or you try to check 20-25 minutes के range में दे दो, each set में 80 minutes दे दो, 100 minutes दे दो, double तो कर ही दो time को. And you see how much are you able to get correct. Because you need to understand, a lot of people ask me this question all the time, how do I clear the CAT every time? And as you know, I've given CAT maybe 21 times, not maybe, actually 21 times, and I've cracked it every time in my life, right? And my percentile is always 99.99, 99.97, 98. I've got 100 percentiles in individual sections multiple times. So people ask me this question, how do I crack the CAT? So the first secret of that is this number, right? So for the toppers, this number will be, I mean, for verbal, I'll give you the toppers numbers. For the toppers, this number for verbal will be 22. If you give them enough time, you take away the time element. For toppers, the quants number will be 22, all 22. Now I'm talking about knowledge ability numbers. And for DILR, it will be all 20 questions. This will be the skill level, the knowledge and ability of the toppers. So when you start doing this audit and you come to know that your DILR ability is 10 to 12. अब जैसे DILR में बहुत issue होता है लोगों को कि the most common question I'm getting about data interpretation logical reasoning from CAT aspirants right now is how do I improve my score? मेरे को सबसे बड़ा problem, somebody messaged me 2 days ago कि मेरा सबसे बड़ा problem set selection है कि मेरे को पता नहीं चलता है कि set कौन सा select करूं. Now my answer to that question was that the question itself is wrong. Why? Because set selection किसी के पास वो hindsight वाला set selection नहीं हो सकता है. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, once you see the paper, you solve the paper, then you look back at the paper, then you can say, okay, this is the easiest set, and this is the next most difficult set, and this is the next most. So if I have to order the order in which I solve these sets, that has to be the order. I have to go from here to here to here. So set 3 I should solve first. ये hindsight में मिलता है. This you will come to know after you spend 1 hour, 1.5 hours in the paper. Nobody has the skill. And if somebody tells you कि मेरे पास ये skill है कि मैं set देखते ही बता दूंगा कि ये सबसे आसान वाला है, तो वो बेवकूफ बना रहा है तुमको. He is just lying through his teeth. Don't listen to that. I can give you my own personal example. I was telling this to some of my students at Mindworks the other day. CAT 2017, I was giving slot 2. I was giving slot 1. Sorry, CAT 2017, I was giving slot 1. और मेरे slot में उस time 32 questions का paper होता था. 32 questions, 60 minutes. And in my slot, there were eight sets. And I solved 7 sets in that paper. When I came out of the paper, when I came out of the exam, I met my students outside, and some of them came up to me and said, "Sir, एक set तो बहुत आसान था, burger pizza set." बोला वो set था कहाँ, मेरे को तो दिखा ही नहीं. So what I'm trying to tell you is, even at my level, I never can make out which set is easy, which is bad. Of course, if you come across that set to start with, so solve करते समय समझ में आ जाता है कि easy है कि tough. लेकिन मेरे को 8वें set मेरे पेपर में unfortunately that set was the 8th one. और मेरा solving होता है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. मैं 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 तक पहुंच गया था, 8 पे जा नहीं पाया. Right? So the first task, I mean, this will start throwing up. I mean, if your ability in 80 minutes is 10 12 questions, how can you, I mean, how can you expect to get more than 6 to 8 questions corrected? As simple as this. ये कैसे हो सकता है कि तुम यहाँ पे 12 कर पा रहे हो, यहाँ पे भी 12 कर लोगे? So if somebody comes to me and says कि मेरे को DILR में स्कोर बढ़ाना है, मेरे को 20 नंबर आ रहे हैं DILR में, I'm getting only 20 marks in DILR. My first question to him will be, how much can you score? Can you score 60 marks, or can you score 50 marks without time limit? If you can't, then the problem is not there. You cannot increase your speed and you cannot improve your set selection. Because one more thing happens. I'll come to this individual sectional aspect on when I come to that slide on the section. But similar logic happens in quants. Out of 22 questions, if there's no time limit, how much do you have the knowledge and ability to do? right? And typically what I've seen is, and so this second number is how many you actually solve in time limit. If time limit is introduced and you have the sectional time limits of the CAT paper, and you can test this both on sectional tests, and you can also start testing this in your mocks. So typically what I've seen is knowledge and ability का जो तुम्हारा number है उसका करीब ये 60% रहेगा. This will be around 60% of that. 60 maybe for great conversion it might go to 80. Okay, if you have a very good day, you might go to 90% of what you know. So it can happen that you know 12 questions and you did 10 of them. But it can't happen that you knew 12 questions and you did 15 out of the 20 questions. It can't happen. I think there's common sense. And you understand this as well as I do. Similarly, do an audit of your quants. What is the number? And don't do an audit on one test, because one test में randomness होता है audit का. because एक test में तुम्हारे chapter के questions ज़्यादा आ गए या कम आ गए, तो randomness होता है. So if you do this over around 5-6 tests, which include sectional plus mocks, मेरे को कितना हो जाता है मेरे से? How many questions do I know? So you will automatically start getting an average value, which will be typical of what your current knowledge and abilities. And once you do this audit, the question then arises: how do you improve it? So what might happen? Two kind of patterns might come in this when you do this audit. Similarly, in verbal, you do this audit. If I have unlimited time, I remove the time element. Do I have a situation where I can get 20-21 correct? Because otherwise, in verbal, if I'm let's say you don't know this information and you have never done an audit of this. Okay, you've never done an audit of this, and you're doing a verbal mock test, and you are taking a mocks, and you're saying that I'm getting 10 correct, 5 wrong. So that third number is how many corrects and how many wrongs you're getting. Or you can look at these two numbers as, you can also write these two numbers as attempt and correct. You're attempting 15 and you're getting 10 correct. So you're getting a score of, let's say, around 25 to 30 with negative marks in verbal. And you are trying to solve a problem that I want to increase my score. So do you have the ability, if you check that other big number, the knowledge and ability number, वहां पता चलता है कि तुमको टाइम लिमिट हटा दो तो 13-14 क्वेश्चन सही कर सकते हो without time limit. You can do 13-14 questions correct without time limit. So and you already getting 10 correct inside time limit. तो इससे ज्यादा तुम कर नहीं पाओगे. You can never do it. कुछ भी कर लो तुम स्पीड बढ़ा लो, एफिशिएंसी बढ़ा लो, स्टेट ऑफ माइंड इंप्रूव कर लो, नॉलेज ही नहीं तो क्या करोगे? मैं अगर राफेल नडाल के साथ टेनिस खेलने जाऊंगा तो मेरा एबिलिटी उसके लेवल का तो नहीं है ना. आई एम ओके एज अ क्लब प्लेयर, बट आई एम नॉट, डोंट हैव द एबिलिटी ऑफ दिस. तो मैं कितना भी ओवर परफॉर्म कर जाऊं उस दिन, the performance on the day can't take me above against him. I might not win more than 10 points in a whole match, in a 5-set match against him. वो भी उसके errors पे जीतूंगा rather than my own winners. So that's the point. So the challenge now, if you want to raise this, the raising will come from here, not from improving the speed and this thing, right? So there will be two kinds of patterns when you look at this audit. We have around 500 people in session, so you'll see two kinds of patterns once you get the audit. One pattern will be knowledge deficient. The other pattern will be knowledge sufficient. Now, if you are knowledge sufficient on a section, then you don't need to do any more basic work on this. Then your work shifts to speed. But if you are knowledge deficient, then you'll have to do a deeper audit. Which question type, which chapter do you have the deficiency? In maths, which chapter? In verbal and DILR, is it a question type or is it a miscellaneous aspect where the deficiency is? Or फिर उसको तो उस deficiency को तुमको bridge करना पड़ेगा. That's the whole idea. So let's be very focused about this fact. कि जब तक बिना audit किए हुए, I mean, as I said, Adarsh does this. Suppose let's say there's a student, Achal is there in this class. So let's say she picks up, her knowledge is 20 or 22 in maths. Let's say she can do 20 or 22 questions in maths without time limit. So and she's only solving 10 to 11 questions in the mock. So her problem is conversion. तो ये अगर knowledge work करेगी, ये अगर chapter पे जाके knowledge work करेगी, knowledge deficient वाला, तो नहीं work करने वाला. Her score is not going to change. And likewise, somebody who is knowledge sufficient and needs to work on speed, if I mean, if she's already getting 20 or 22 correct, she's knowledge sufficient, and she does knowledge deficiency wala work, so she'll be wasting her time, she'll be wasting her precious study sessions. On the other hand, somebody who's knowledge deficient works on something that somebody who's knowledge sufficient should work on. So then obviously he or she is wasting his time. You first have to get your knowledge up, and then of course when you talk about knowledge deficient, knowledge sufficient, it will not just section wise that you leave it. You have to then break it down into, as I said, you have to break it down into chapters in quants and question types in verbal and DILR. So you have to then, the audit has to go into dimensions. This chapter, average chapter, time split distance chapter, permutation combination chapter, knowledge deficiency and knowledge sufficient domain. 20 chapters in maths is easy to do in maths. In verbal and DILR, it will be question types, right? एक तो LR में question types पे switch कर दो, puzzles and quantitative reasoning and games and tournaments, etc. Verbal में भी question type पे आ जाओ, odd man out and para summary, etc. So we are doing a knowledge and ability audit. Am I knowledge deficient or knowledge sufficient? So it might happen that in quants you are knowledge deficient in 3 chapters, knowledge sufficient in 17 chapters, or vice versa. So that will define. Then those 3 chapters don't require knowledge deficiency work. The work for somebody who's knowledge deficient is different from the work from somebody who's knowledge sufficient, right? So that's the whole idea of what we need to focus on when we are doing these audits, right? And then, as I said, strategize based on your audit. So you might say, okay, in time split distance, I'm knowledge deficient, I'm knowledge sufficient. I need to, my ability sufficient, knowledge and ability sufficient in time split distance. So I need to improve my speed and conversion. So my focus on, when I'm sitting on my time split distance for one study session, the focus is speed work. So I'm trying to push myself to read once and solve. I'm trying to push myself to write less. I'm trying to push myself to use numbers while solving instead of algebra. So that's what I'm doing there when I'm sitting for my study session. But at the same time, let's say if my geometry is knowledge deficient, then I have to do knowledge work. My focus when I'm sitting on geometry is I have to teach myself how to get through the questions, because I'm at a point where I'm not able to solve things. And one more way, so the next question that arises, I'm going to come to the individual sections after this. What are the processes that will work at this point and what will not work? So given the fact that we are in a seminar which is talking about 75 days to CAT, I will give you only processes that will work inside 75 days. So if I tell you कि vocabulary याद करना शुरू कर दो, वो CAT 23 के लिए मैं बोल सकता हूँ, CAT 22 कब नहीं बोलूँगा, right? Because you now have to do with whatever vocabulary you have. You will try to see how you can get the best score possible. So mocks and past year questions. Mocks how often? So please remember, mocks will keep auditing you all the time. He'll keep giving you audit reports all the time, and you will keep finding not just audit reports in terms of how much score you're getting. You'll also get if you start looking at your analysis, you'll also get broken down analysis, time split distance, average allegation, percentage, permutation combination, geometry, games and tournaments, logical DI, traditional DI, सब पे तुमको audit मिलने लगेगा, each of these things. So you keep, I mean, of course, needless to say, mock should intensify now. And your mock taking strategy from in the last 75 days, depending on how much knowledge work you still need to do, उस पे depend करेगा. But it should be between 2 days per mock. If that means every alternate day. It should be between 2 days per mock to 7 days per mock. It should not be less than that now. And even those of you who are looking at 7 days per mock, because you're knowledge deficient, if you're looking at 7 days per mock, your objective has to be able to push this down to 5, and then push this down to 3, and then finally bring it down to 2. So mock's frequency at this stage has to become this, somewhere between this. It will depend on you. I cannot give you one solution that fits everybody. एक AC है जो सब, एक remote है जो सब AC को चला देता है. I cannot give you that. It has to be based on what you are doing currently, where what your audit has thrown up, how much knowledge deficiency work you need to do, how much work you need to do to get your knowledge on track. वो तुमको देखना पड़ेगा. But even if there's a lot of knowledge work left, 7 days per mock has to be done. And as I said, sectional test is the building block to this. So apart from the mocks, you should also take a lot of sectionals, at least 10 to 15. So broadly, I mean, how many mocks should I take? 20 to 40. 20 में भी हो जाता है, कुछ लोग का 10 में भी हो जाता है. डिपेंड करता है मॉक्स में स्कोर आना शुरू हो गया कि नहीं. अगर 5वें मॉक के बाद तुमको 120 आना शुरू हो गया और अगले 10 मॉक में 120 प्लस आ रहा है हमेशा, तो और मॉक्स लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. यू आर डन, राइट. और टाइम है तो कर ले लो, उसके बाद और जरूरत नहीं है. बट इफ योर स्कोर्स आर स्टक, let's say 20% below where you want to be on an individual section, तो उसके सेक्शनल टेस्ट और लेने चाहिए, उसके मॉक टेस्ट और लेने चाहिए. प्लीज रिमेंबर, मॉक्स जब लोगे ना, तो मॉक्स हैज two elements. One is the diagnostic element. It keeps giving you audit about yourself. One is the diagnostic element. The second aspect of mocks is also the practice. It also adds practice. So if I define, okay, I'll take 40 mocks during this time, and during my preparation journey, I've seen some toppers, some 100 percentiles, they take even 70-80 mocks. So when I go into the CAT, I feel handicapped against the 100 percentiles because of the fact that I don't take any mocks before I go into the exam. I go just blind. So I just have to solve one based on a plain ability while they are in practice, right? So that's the difference. Last 5-10 marks में वो difference create करता है मेरे साथ. But 40 is a good number. I mean, I'm not saying you should not do more than that. You can do more than that, but somewhere in 20 to 40 is the sweet spot. 40 is a good number to have, because if you do 40, it's also adding around 1,000 questions, 800 to 1,000 questions of each section for you. So अगर तुम अपना basic preparation का practice देखो, in fact मैंने जब तैयारी की थी CAT के लिए, तो I prepared, my preparation was only mocks. I did not do anything else. एक भी दिन बैठ के मैं टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस या एक भी दिन बैठ के ज्योमेट्री पढ़ा नहीं था. और मेरा ओनली फोकस ड्यूरिंग माय मॉक्स प्रिपरेशन वाज, एंड दैट्स व्हाट गॉट मी थ्रू, वाज कि अगर आज मैं क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, इफ आई एम सॉल्विंग अ क्वेश्चन टुडे एंड आई एम नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व इट, आई गॉट स्टक इनसाइड द मॉक व्हाइल डूइंग इट, so I'll find out how to do it. I'll find the process to do it, and most of it I did on self problem solving mode only, because when you're trying to learn, I guess all of you understand that problem solving exposure is the most important aspect in all sections. And problem solving exposure जब करते हो तो दो तरह से होता है, एक assisted होता है where somebody is helping you, और दूसरा होता है self. I'll not leave it as an ass here. Let's put it. And assisted is after a certain point of time. Assisted problem solving is actually an ass, right? It's actually an ass which you should stop looking at, right? It's like a donkey. So you should not be you have to try to get over this as soon as possible, because the actual problem solving exposure that takes you through is the self problem solving exposure. So my process of preparation was only this: keep taking mocks. I took around 50-60 mocks. उस टाइम उतने मिलते भी नहीं थे. मैंने desperately इधर उधर से कहाँ से सर्च करके निकाले mocks. उस टाइम तो ऑनलाइन भी नहीं मिलता था कुछ, तो किसी इंस्टीट्यूट का कहीं जाके मंगाया, किसी स्टूडेंट के पास, किसी मेरे भाई के फ्रेंड के पास ब्रिलियंट्स के 20 पेपर थे 5 साल पुराने कैट के, उसको भी मैंने सॉल्व कर दिया। तो माय ओनली लॉजिक यूज्ड टू बी कि आज मैं इस क्वेश्चन में फंस गया, अगले बार नहीं फंसूंगा। दैट्स द ओनली थिंग आई डिड। So that if you do that across 1,000 questions using self problem solving, not assisted problem solving, I think that's huge preparation. Almost 60% of what you have done during basics wo ye kar dega, right? And then the other element is how do you use the past year papers. So past year papers, as I was mentioning in the context of my previous year question book, which is now out in the market, पास्ट ईयर पेपर्स में तुमको उसको स्प्लिट करना पड़ेगा। कैट के पेपर से जो बात कर रहे हो, तो कैट का पेपर्स है 99 to 2008, these are available. 2009 to 16 they are not available. If a book claims to do it, you can you can just I mean, some people still believe it, but I can tell you from a fact, if you can catch hold of the author, ask them this question, ये 2009 का पेपर तुमने उसकी ये क्वेश्चन डाला तो कौन सा स्लॉट है, विच स्लॉट इज इट, राइट? और किस दिन का स्लॉट है, 20 डेज का पेपर था, डे 13 का सेकंड स्लॉट है, फर्स्ट स्लॉट है, वो भी पूछ लेना उससे कौन सा क्वेश्चन था, right? And as I said, people just using the legal loophole of writing in the book memory based. So the moment I write memory based, you can't question my memory in the court of law. मेरे को तो ये याद था भैया, मैंने जो याद था मैंने लिख दिया, तुमने यूज किया। I put that disclaimer that everything is memory based. So please remember 9 to 16 का पेपर्स नहीं पॉसिबल है। मतलब people have even given RC का क्वेश्चन in 9 to 16, कैसे हो सकता है? RC का क्वेश्चन कैसे मेमोरी बेस्ड में बना सकता है? So just don't waste your time with those questions. They're just a random practice set. तुमको अगर करना है अपने psychological satisfaction कर लो, but nobody has those papers with them. So 99 to 2008 papers you should use chapter wise mostly, and 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 को तुमको, these should be part of your mock series. These should be part of a mock series. So two papers of 17, 2 papers of 18, 2 papers of 19, 3 papers of 20, and 3 papers of 21. These 12 papers should be part of your mock series. So ये जो 40 mocks मैंने बोला था, उस 40 में this can be included. Or if you want to be safeguarding yourself further, you can do 40 plus this. Right? These questions you should not use for your practice, because when you take them as mocks, it is also giving you an experience of what your current state of preparation is throwing up in terms of your score if you take an actual category. So यहाँ पे फिर एक दूसरा कॉम्प्लिकेशन आ रहा है अभी कि कैट 2 घंटे का हो गया। This is a 2-hour paper, and this year also it's a 2-hour paper. So these papers are relevant both from the kind of questions they've asked, also from the difficulty level and the timeline, the time they give you. But when you look at these mocks are 300 marks mocks, and they are 3 hours. So how should you solve these? 2 घंटे में करना चाहिए, क्या करना चाहिए? तो my answer to that to people is कि इनमें एक standard pattern था. Verbal was 32 questions, 34 questions. Verbal was 34 questions. Quants was 34 questions. And DLR was 32 questions, 8 sets. So it's very easy to break down your points. What you do is you take it as a 1 hour, take these as 3 hour papers. But when you analyze your score, you keep a track of at the 40-minute point in every section how much had you reached. So what you do is you solve the paper as 40 minutes plus 20 minutes. Each section you solve as 40 minutes plus 20 minutes. A quants में first 40 minutes में do up to question 22. Last 20 minutes में do the last 12 questions. So तुम जब स्कोर निकालोगे, तुमको फर्स्ट 22 क्वेश्चन में कितना स्कोर है, वो तुमको कैट का करंट स्कोर दे देगा। और 34 मार्क्स पे जो स्कोर तुमको आ रहा है, 34 क्वेश्चन जो स्कोर आ रहा है 1 आवर में, उससे वी कैन आल्सो प्रेडिक्ट कि 3 आवर कैट में उस टाइम लोगों को कितना आता था स्कोर पे, तो यू कैन वर्क आउट। 100 मार्क्स पे 2 आवर कैट में 99 परसेंटाइल आ रहा है ब्रॉडली, तो 150 मार्क्स पे 3 आवर कैट में 99 परसेंटाइल आएगा। that was the basic logic. So are you getting there? Are you crossing 150 easily in 3 hour paper? You can measure that, and also you can see in a 2 hour paper are you crossing 100 or not. So just keep track of which questions you solved in the first 40 minutes in every section. Verbal में थोड़ा सा different होगा। Verbal में तुमको जब तुम solve करोगे तो verbal में उस टाइम जो पैटर्न था was 24 questions of quants of RC and 10 questions of verbal। 24 questions of RC होते थे, 10 questions of verbal होते थे। इसको जब solve करोगे तो इसको तुम 16 plus 6 plus 8 पे break कर देना for the first 40 minutes, and the next 20 minutes you do the other 8 questions of RC and the other 2 questions of verbal, and you finish the paper. So you will get a 40 minute score also of the section, and you will also get a 60 minute score. And DLR में you current pattern is 4 sets and 4-6 questions. यहाँ पे तुम इसको first 5 sets पे 40 minutes बिताना, last 3 sets पे 20 minutes पे कर देना, right? So just do that. On the Mindworks website we're going to release these tests as 3-hour tests only. So you will have to solve it this way in that context. ठीक है, I don't believe in breaking that paper because वो पूरा experience जो CAT का है वो it's important for you to take. ठीक है, but when you want to measure the 2-hour paper, you can actually measure in DILR what did I do in the first 5 questions, the first 5 sets. That's your 40 minute score. So coming to the last part of my session before I go to the questions. Now I want to actually go into just give me a second. I want to go into what are the processes that can work. What are the processes that can work in verbal in the last 75 days? Last 75 days में जब आते हो तुम तो verbal में जैसे as I said vocabulary improve करने के लिए vocabulary list कर रहे हो, vocab याद कर रहे हो, वो सब नहीं work करने वाला है। तो और तुम्हारा audit में तुमको क्या दिखा है verbal में? Is it still an understanding issue or is it now a solving issue? अगर तुमको अभी भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है बहुत सारा चीज while reading, you're still not getting a lot of things while reading, then what you start doing in verbal is maybe you can do short paragraph readings. Okay, you try to improve your quality of understanding of paragraphs. Para understanding to focus karo, because if you can start understanding paragraphs and improve your ability to read paragraphs, you can actually across topics, across different subjects, reading comprehension passages about 4 or 5 paragraphs long. So if you can understand paragraphs, you can understand passages. So the logic is same. I mean, when you suppose somebody tells me कि मेरे को CAT 26 के लिए तैयारी करना है verbal के लिए, तो बोलूँगा किताबें पढ़ो, read books, start reading as many books, read as diversely as possible. You have the time. But somebody tells me CAT 23 के लिए तैयारी करना है 14 months में, तो I'll tell him for verbal don't read books because book reading will not give you that much exposure. So what you do is you start reading articles, start reading 2000 word articles, right? And focus on improving your understanding at the article level. But if you are in a 75-day framework, if you read articles of 2000 words, you'll be able to do 10 articles in a day. But if you focus only on paragraphs, and what you do is what I call as the 20 tab exercise. What you do is open a website, open 5-6 websites which have good quality writing, and you open 20 different articles on 20 different topics, and randomly beach में paragraph करो, open the Guardian, open the Economist, open the New York Times, open Wall Street Journal, ऐसे 10-15 open the Guardian, 15-20 टॉपिक पेपर्स खोल लो, न्यूज़पेपर्स खोल लो, आर्टिकल साइट्स खोल लो, इॉन में 4 आर्टिकल खोल लो और एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ना शुरू करो. Force yourself to understand at the paragraph level कि इस पैराग्राफ का मीनिंग में निकालना आ रहा है कि नहीं. Because पैरा मीनिंग अगर तुम समझ जाओगे तो even now you can actually do a lot of comprehension. And of course all the work you do in solving, whether it's about analyzing कि मैंने ये ऑप्शन मार्क किया, वो आंसर क्यों है, मैंने ये समझा और बस से ये आंसर आ गया था. So all the work you do in solving can actually give you results in 75 days. So a lot of solving work. So if let's say you have a problem in let's say in reading comprehension, so you pick up 50-100 good quality passages. एक चीज और important, the quality of the passage has to be good, the quality of the writing of the question has to be good. बस बहुत सारे वेबसाइट्स पे तुम जाओगे तो वो जो क्वेश्चन राइटर है उसी को नहीं समझ में आया पैसेज और उसने क्वेश्चन बना दिया उसमें. So I've seen that also. So make sure that you only go to high quality content. That's very important. Otherwise, in verbal it will be counterproductive. Because तुम quants में तो 2+2 प्रूव कर सकते हो कि उसने गलत लिखा है, 4 के बदले 5 के बदले 4 लिख दिया उसने, या 4 के बदले 5 लिख दिया उसने, गलत लिखा है. Verbal में तुम कभी प्रूव नहीं कर पाओगे कि तुम्हारा लॉजिक ज्यादा बेटर है than the question setter. So you have to ensure that you pick up standard stuff. So previous year questions are good standard stuff. My verbal comprehension book, my and Meenakshi ma'am's VRC book is also good stuff that you can use. We have made sure that ambiguity is minimized in those questions. You can also pick up GMAT, the original papers, original questions, etc., to actually practice. So these are 3 things, and then of course you keep checking back in your mocks and your inside your mocks and your sectional tests. QA में क्या प्रोसेस वर्क कर सकता है? QA में तो बहुत सारी चीज कर सकते हो. 75 days, if I let's say dedicate 2 study sessions to a chapter, to review the chapter, to revise the chapter, or even solve. I mean, when you go into every chapter, as I said, when you enter a chapter, you might say that I am knowledge deficient in this chapter, or I am knowledge sufficient in this chapter. So if you allocate 2 study sessions on a topic, on which you are knowledge deficient, your focus should be 100 to 150 questions. Any topic, any knowledge deficient topic, if you self-solve 100 to 150 questions, and to get to that point where you can self-solve 100 to 150 questions, if you need, I call it SPS, so 100 to 150 sets of SPS, 100 to 150 sets of APS, questions of APS. So if you're knowledge deficient, you will come to know through your, as I told you, through your audit also. You'll also come to know when you do your mocks, यार ये question तो कभी देखा ही नहीं था, इस तरह का question तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं था, right? Ratio proportional question था, ऐसा question तो कभी सोचा नहीं है मैंने. So you need to understand that question के बारे में कभी सोचा नहीं है is a big handicap in the CAT. और question के बारे में सोचा है, ये question मैंने इस तरह का question के बारे में सोच चुका हूँ मैं, is a big opposite, is big advantage in the CAT. You want to convert all your handicaps into advantages. Handicaps into advantages, more problem exposure से होगा. So if you are adequately skilled that you can do the 150 questions required, मतलब तुमको skill है उस chapter पे, लेकिन तुम just किए नहीं हो अभी तक, तो जिस chapter पे वो है उस पे 150 question बैठ के solve कर लो, 2 study session में sort हो जाएगा तुम्हारा. 50-60 question एक study session में कर लो, 2-3 study session में वो chapter solve हो जाएगा. तुम knowledge deficient से knowledge sufficient में चले जाओगे. और assisted problem solving पे अगर इसमें ये problem, ये ability नहीं है तुमको, 150 question solve करोगे, हर दूसरे question में फंसने वाले हो, तो फिर assisted problem solving थोड़ा बढ़ा दो. Look at a few more questions, look at a few more solutions from books, etc., so that you learn how to do those questions. So it's just a toss up between these two. Theory पढ़ने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. अब last 75 days, of course, अगर तुमने किसी चैप्टर का थियरी अभी तक नहीं पढ़ा है तो नीडलेस टू से यू शुड गो थ्रू विद इट. तुमको फॉर्मूला नहीं याद है तो बेसिक फॉर्मूलास को एक बार देखना चाहिए, उसका बेसिक चैप्टर का बेसिक देख लेना चाहिए एक बार. Those things you should do, but apart from that, nothing more. The ball is between these two courts, APS and SPS, right? Especially if you are knowledge deficient. If you are knowledge sufficient, two indications रहेगा इसके लिए. Are you knowledge sufficient? 3 indications रहेगा. एक indication रहेगा तुमको audit से. कि जब मैं 22 क्वेश्चन देखता हूँ quants के पेपर का, तो मेरे को 20 प्लस आता है. That's one indication. Second indicator is a gut feel, which you again get through the mocks. कि इस चैप्टर के प्रॉब्लम्स में मेरे को कभी भी there's no tightening of my heartbeat. It's all fine. I'm not scared of these questions. मुझे पता है कि मैं कर लूँगा. So that is also an indicator that knowledge sufficiency है. And third very strong indicator is when you do the previous year question of the chapter. When you check the previous year question of the chapter, that's a very strong indicator कि I'm ready. Because अगर तुमको 20 साल के कैट पेपर में दिक्कत नहीं हुआ 2099 से 2021 के पेपर्स में एक्सक्लूडिंग 9 to 16 तुमको किसी क्वेश्चन में दिक्कत नहीं हो रहा है सॉल्व करने में, तो that's an indication, fair indication that you are ready for the topic. So then if your knowledge is sufficient, then the focus shifts to speed on that topic. So whatever study sessions you do on the topic, you have to keep the pencil aside. You have to try to take as many processes mentally as possible. Now speed कैसे बढ़ता है? पहला स्पीड बढ़ता है, पहला सोर्स ऑफ स्पीड है कि तुम एक ही बार पढ़ो क्वेश्चन, सेकंड रीडिंग का जरूरत नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. दूसरा सोर्स ऑफ स्पीड है कि तुम प्रोसेसेस को पेन पेपर से अपने माइंड में ले जाओ. जैसे अगर तुम अलजेब्रिक सॉल्विंग कर रहे हो तो तुम 4 स्टेप लिख के अलजेब्रिक सॉल्विंग करते हो, तो उसको तुमको अब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन का रूट्स निकालना है, सपोज कॉम्प्लेक्स रूट्स आ रहे हैं और रूट्स निकालना है तो तुमको फॉर्मूला से करना है, राइट? दैट क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन वाला फॉर्मूला से करना है. तो उस फॉर्मूला को तुमको प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए कि यू कैन डू इट इन योर माइंड विदाउट राइटिंग. या तुम एक स्टेप लिखो, 4 स्टेप लिखने के बदले एक स्टेप लिखो. इफ यू रिड्यूस योर राइटिंग स्पीड विल गो अप ऑटोमेटिकली. And then of course you still work on your calculations. That is the third aspect of it. So these are 3 things that you do. So these are the processes that will work in QA. And this is the only thing that you need to do. Or kuch, there's no rocket science in it. And DILR, I don't need to change the slide. It's the same thing. Data interpretation, logical reasoning may be same thing. If you pick up DI, you find out that things are not working very well in data interpretation for you. If you find that out, कि DI में बहुत अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है तुम्हारे पास तुम्हारा चीज, तो 100 sets of self problem. DILR में एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है. DILR का ओवरऑल, I mean, even if you are in the 75-day framework and you have not done nothing on DILR, the whole preparation of DILR is not more than 2 months. So a person who's starting his preparation today, not done anything, he self-solves 200 sets of DI, self-solves 200 sets of LR, he or she might be ready. So whether you're knowledge deficient or knowledge sufficient in DILR, ability, DI में knowledge तो है नहीं, LR में भी knowledge नहीं है, whether you're ability deficient or ability sufficient in these 2 topics, you pick up 100 sets, give yourself a target कि 100 sets next 10 days में करो. मेरे बुक से उठा लो sets, LOD1, LOD2, LOD3 और mix sets उठाओ. Chapters, their topic wise pie chart, bar chart वाले से बाहर निकलो and start moving to the mix sets. मेरे बुक में वही है. First few chapters are मैं segregate किया हुआ मैंने question types, both DI book as well as LR book. I have segregated the question types, and after that I have given all mixed sets, because inside the CAT you don't say कि जैसे maths में कर रहे हो तो तुमको पता चलता है कि time split distance solve कर रहे हो. CAT में जब solve करते हो तो बहुत बार पता नहीं चलेगा कि DI कर रहे हो कि LR कर रहे हो, ये भी नहीं पता चलेगा. So pick up 100-150 sets, keep giving yourself the challenge. Or are you solving it for the emphasis of कि मेरे को सीखना है solving because मेरा knowledge ability deficient है, कि इस स्पीड के लिए काम कर रहे हो. तो स्पीड के लिए काम कर रहे हो, then you push yourself कि 10 मिनट का टाइम लिमिट लगा करूंगा. अगर नॉलेज एबिलिटी डेफिशिएंसी है तो पहले टाइम लिमिट बिना लगाए हुए 100 सेट करो, 150 सेट करो. कितना दिन लगेगा? 10 दिन लगेगा. 10 सेट्स पर डे पे कर सकते हो. 10 डेज में योर DILR can change, can improve. 75 days is a huge time. So that's it. I think this was what I wanted to say. So I am now ready to take your questions. तो अब क्वेश्चंस पूछ लो मेरे से. मैक्सिमम पे एज फैक्टर कुछ नहीं है. शिवम अभी का क्वेश्चन ले रहा हूँ मैं 1255 वाला, और एक ही बार क्वेश्चन डाला. आई एम ट्राइंग टू This thing, Abhijit had asked me, I'm remembering no vocabulary from Norman Lewis. Is it better to stop it? If you're remembering vocabulary from Norman Lewis to improve your vocabulary overall, it's fine. अगर cat 27 कब है? 27 नवंबर 28 नवंबर, I don't remember the Sunday. तो cat के दिन अगर तुमको होप कर रहे हो कि नॉर्मल लिस्ट अभी पढ़ूंगा तो cat में मेरे को हेल्प हो जाएगा, नहीं होने वाला है कुछ. ठीक है, DLR मेरे बुक से कर लो विवेक. Let me just share the slides once more. You can do it from my books. These are the books. You can buy it from that link also. ठीक है. Rhythm is saying, if I am able to solve LOD 3 quant, should I be worried? Depends on your scores and your targets. If I work hard in these 3 months, can I crack? Yes, people crack in 25 to 30 days also. Speed improvement I have already answered, Mukta. Speed improvement processes are not rocket science. You have to reduce your readings and improve your mental processes and reduce your writing. Preparation from begin का ये seminar नहीं था प्रथमेश, so I will not be answering that now. Aditya says big problem in quants. Solving only 2-3 questions. So do that audit I talked about. उसको करो. Aditya Gupta says I'm 50% knowledge deficient. Is it possible to crack it in 75 days? Yes, it's possible. Okay, K says starting prep now. Can I get 95? देखो 95 percentile के लिए you just need 75 marks. So you just have to learn to do 8 questions per section. ठीक है. Vaibhav says books or video course for knowledge improvement. I think do a mixture of both. That will help you. Depends on what your learning styles are also. ठीक है. What should be done to increase percentage calculation DLR? मेरे YouTube videos देखो मैंने किया हुआ है मेरे अरुण शर्मा चैनल पे. Not on the, we got 2 channels. Arun Sharma Mindbox पे नहीं किया. Arun Sharma channel पे पूरा वीडियो डाला हुआ है मैंने. Confidence, the harder you work, Aditya Mishra, the more confident you will get. LD 1-2 enough for 90% yes. Revision pattern is basically doing more questions and redoing the questions. ठीक है. Silly mistakes, see, the more assured you are of your solving, the better your silly mistakes ratio will become. So maybe it's just about, you will not make a silly mistake in 2+2 any longer. You still used to make a silly mistake in 2+2 when you were in class 3, but now you'll not make it. So focus on that. ठीक है. Yeah, in our test series, mocks ले लो. मेरे अरुण शर्मा CAT challenge mocks ले लो. Vivek, I build those mocks. So the DLR solutions are mostly by me only in that. Can I solve DLR sets twice? Second LR sets में the second time solve करने में कोई last time का याद नहीं रहता. तो every time you solve it seems new. Quants doesn't improve. What should I do? You need to learn to. I mean, quants will close the day. You can do 200 questions of self problem solving. You need to improve your thinking inside the questions. Yeah, you can. Anytime you solve self-solving, problem solving will always help you. Right? There are a lot of questions coming, but I cannot take all of them. So I'll take the last 5 questions which have come now. I'll just try to answer those. Not the last 5, the 5 most interesting questions that I see here. DI and quantitative LR is suffering due to my knowledge being insufficient in quants. Should I do them separately? क्वांटिटेटिव वेलर में क्वांट्स का नॉलेज का तो रोल नहीं है अनजान, इट डजंट मैटर। ठीक है, कैन आई यूज 8th एडिशन ऑफ क्यूए? आई डोंट थिंक इट्स रेलेवेंट एनी लॉन्गर। लेटेस्ट एडिशन पे चले जाओ। मेन टॉपिक्स इन क्वांट्स, डू ऑल द चैप्टर्स। Bikram says any source of RC, that said in the seminar, use the previous year questions or GMAT questions apart from the books and the mocks. Time to analyze mocks around 20 minutes. What I'll do is I'll pick up, there are a lot of questions, hundreds of questions that have come in. So what we'll do is we'll pick up some of these questions and I'll build YouTube on my YouTube channel, Arun Sharma Mindworks. We'll put solutions to or we'll try to answer these questions over the next week or so. ठीक है? Yeah, full marks website you should be able to help. It will definitely help. They have section tests in that, so that will also help you. ठीक है? चलो, so we'll stop here. Thank you so much for being there. It was a pleasure from my side. I'm sorry I cannot take all questions, but I'll definitely get my team to pull out these questions. And over the next week or so, I might do some live YouTube sessions, and उसमें हम लोग solve कर लेंगे. I'll try to answer these questions with you. चलो, thank you so much. Session recording, I think this will be the property of McGraw-Hill. We'll see if we can put the recording. We'll put it on our channel. चलो, bye bye. Thank you so much. All the best to all of you. Bye bye.